Hello, I'm Dr. Rebecca Pedersen. I'm the Chief Quality Officer and a Family Practice Physician at FHN. I'd like to speak to you about advanced directives. You might have some questions about this subject, so let's get started and I'll fill in the gaps. Advanced directives can be such things as your healthcare power of attorney, someone that you designate to make decisions for you. Maybe it's a living will, decisions that you want your family member to honor when you're not able to make decisions while you're still alive. It could even be that end-of-life form that you fill out with your provider, like, if I'm not alive, I'm essentially dead, I don't want CPR, or if I'm breathing partially, I'm willing for less invasive things, like BiPAP, feeding tube, etc. These are all documents that you may or may not have, but you can fill them out easily with your provider. Anyone can complete an advanced directive. There is one form that needs to be done with your physician, and that's called the POST form. It has to do with CPR and whether or not you want that at the end of life. But the forms that you can complete on your own would be your healthcare power of attorney and your living will. These do not require an attorney, do not require a physician, but it's something that you can do at your own leisure, at your own home, and take your time to think about it. Questions that you might consider when you're filling out your advanced directives include, who could represent me when I'm not able to speak for myself? It might be your spouse, might be a friend, might be a child, but this person should be your healthcare power of attorney. Someone that can respect your wishes and execute them when you're not able to speak or act for yourself. Other things that you might want to talk about with your healthcare power of attorney, and even put them in your living will, include things like, is quality of life more important than quantity? For example, do I want to be at a nursing facility with a feeding tube and a ventilator and live until I'm 100? Or would I rather be at home, no feeding tube, taking oral nutrition by my mouth when I'm hungry and thirsty? These limits of how far you'll go or what's important to you are important to discuss with your healthcare power of attorney and include these in your living will. Other things that you might consider would be, should I be an organ donor? Do I want to donate my body to science? And these can be specifically listed as your request when you're not able to make decisions yourself. Advanced directives are not hospice. Hospice is a program that we consider for patients who have a terminal illness, less than 6 months to live in general, and their physician would be able to say that this is not a curable condition. Hospice is a great program, but it's not advanced directives. When someone enters hospice, we ask them specifically, do you have a healthcare power of attorney? That's one form. Do you have a living will? That's the second form. And number 3, have you filled out a POST form? Or have you decided resuscitation needs or wants with your physician? And that's something you would fill out with your physician. These forms are applicable for everyone, not just people with terminal illnesses or in hospice. If you don't have advanced directives and you become incapacitated, then our federal and state laws state that we have to do everything possible for you. This means CPR. This means looking for your closest family member. If you're married, it would be your spouse. If you are not married, it would be your adult children. If you have no spouse, no adult children, it would be your nearest relative. And if we can't find anyone, we would go to the courts and petition for you to have a guardian, someone that could be responsible for your decisions. This can be a really lengthy process when we have to involve the court system. So it's best if you can choose your own person that would speak for you, and you can delineate what's important to you around those end-of-life topics so that we can hear your voice even when you're not able to speak for yourself. So what is the right age for an advance directive? I think any adult, so 18 and above. When your parents aren't around to choose for you, we'd like to know what's important to you. It's like filling out papers for a will. It's like buying life insurance. These are responsible adult things that everyone should consider. So you're never too young, you're never too old to talk to your physician, your nurse practitioner, your trustworthy friend about filling out these forms, picking healthcare power of attorney, and writing down in ink what's important to you. So these forms are available on our FHN.org website, and they are downloadable, free, and it's a standard form for the state of Illinois. And you could complete this for your healthcare power of attorney, your living will. If you don't have a computer or a printer, you could ask your physician for them at the visit. There's something that we'll give away at no cost, and as many copies as you need. We want you to get it right and to share those papers, documents with us. It's important that you not only share them with your doctor, but you also tell your family, your healthcare power of attorney, where the documents are, and they're kept in a secure place at home and also the clinic. I think people are a little nervous or shy or uncomfortable talking about end-of-life topics. I think a great place to talk about this would be your annual physical or a wellness exam, maybe time in the clinic when you're not sick and you're relaxed and you can bring up these topics with your doctor. People are really receptive when I ask them about, do you have healthcare power of attorney, a living will, have you considered CPR? These are appropriate things to talk about at any time. And so it's amazing. All you have to say is, I want to talk about my end-of-life wishes. And that starts the conversation flowing. I'd refer you to our website. FHN.org has some resources for advance directives and those forms that we talked about. So FHN.org/advance directives. You can print these forms at home. There's a list of common questions and answers that we talked about today in this video, but also if you just want to talk to someone, you want to talk to a social worker, answer questions with a live person that's an expert on this, you can dial 599-7080 and one of our hospice social workers will be in touch with you. We can personalize this by phone. You can meet with your doctor for a visit. We're here for you, and we want to help you fill these documents out when you're ready. So we see examples every day, and I can share a story with you from yesterday. A 95-year-old patient of mine came to the clinic and she had a new medical problem. She's losing weight. We don't know why. And she brought 3 adult children. Now I must say it was a full room. She's 95, so those girls are in their 70s. And we had some important decisions to make together. For example, how far are we going to go with this workup? What's important to your mom? Who's going to stay with her now that she needs more help? Where do we move to next? And I could bring forward documents that she had filled out with me before. I knew she did not want resuscitation. I knew she wanted a natural life, and that when she couldn't breathe for herself or her heart couldn't beat for itself, she wanted me to keep her comfortable and let her be. I didn't know which daughter was going to be the healthcare power of attorney. We didn't have to argue about it in the visit because it was already settled. It was in her document, her living will. So when the visit was over and we all 4 agreed on what tests to do, I had one daughter to go to with results, and she could disseminate the information. There wasn't any confusion. It was really clear because this is something that her mom had done with me 20 years ago when she herself was in her 70s and it seemed the right thing to do. So give a gift to yourself, to your friends, to your family, to your loved ones, and start talking about these things now. It's never too late, and early is better than late.